Trapped in the Savage Lands and being hunted by the merciless Kraven, will Peter Parker be forced to cross the line if it means saving his life and the life of his family? Well, let's hop into the pages of Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 14, and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, poor Richard Parker, while making the rounds with his brand new symbiote, ended up coming face to face with a very vengeful Felicia Hardy Black Cat. Black Cat, of course, blames Spider-Man for the role he played in her father's crippling, though she does know that it was actually Green Goblin who did the real deed. Still, vengeance be mine, saith the cat. Here's the thing though, Richard doesn't want to fight this lady at all. He had nothing to do with any of that, and in fact he is so dedicated to non-violence he even unmasks to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that he's not his father. And indeed, Felicia is taken aback by this to realize that the Spider-Man she's been fighting this whole time is just a kid. Though in short order, as we learn, Felicia herself is basically just a kid too. Richard reveals that he's 15 and a half, only for Felicia to reveal that she's 16 and a half. Forget killing each other on a rooftop, these two can't even drink legally right now, and yet somehow they've been pulled into their father's extracurricular superhero supervillain activities. In fact, they soon learn after talking to each other for long enough that they actually have way more in common than even just that. Mainly, they're both doing these jobs right now under duress. Felicia never wanted to join the Sinister Six, despite her father spending years training her. It was either this or their family would lose all of their territory to the other villains. Likewise, young Richard doesn't even like the symbiote that much, but has to keep up appearances for his father while he's missing. Now, how about that? In this universe, Peter Parker is happily married, and now it seems like they're actively setting up Felicia Hardy to be a possible love interest for his son, no less. Now, where exactly is Peter while all of this is going on? Well, he's still deep in the jungles of the Sixth Borough, aka the Savage Land. Since we last saw him and Harry, they've tamed some raptors, and are still desperately trying to make it to the edge of the map so that they can escape and rejoin their families. In fact, Peter's internal monologue basically just keeps saying how far they have to go and that he has to get back to MJ and the kids. Once again, too, Harry continues to be the kind of anti-Jiminy Cricket on Peter's shoulder right now, saying, hey, we're in too deep, this is really dangerous, they know our families, they know our faces, you might have to kill someone, Peter. But naturally, Spider-Man wants to kick that particular can of worms down the hill for another time. It's at that very moment both Harry and Peter end up coming under attack by Kraven, who ends up putting two direct headshots into their poor raptor, turning it into red mist. Harry gets stuck under the animal's weight and breaks his ankle, meaning that Peter has to heroically go out into the open and try and goad Kraven into shooting him so Harry can escape. It's also at this point here Peter seems to put more stock and thought into his spider sense than he has at any other point in this series so far. Mainly he says, yeah, I just thought about it really hard, and before I knew it, I knew where Kraven was gonna shoot before he shot. Peter manages to escape the fray, but with Harry now hurt, the question becomes how the hell are they both going to get out of here? Thankfully though, they end up finding very unlikely assistance in the form of the Mole Man. After all, the Sixth Borough is his domain. He doesn't necessarily like Kraven, and he's not exactly going against Kingpin right now and helping these two because Kingpin has no idea they're down there. Mysterio also takes note of Mole Man's duplicitous nature and chooses to try to hold that over him, though it seems that Mysterio has more or less the same idea as the Mole Man, and that is it actually behooves them if Kraven is to fail sooner rather than later, because it means it will be their turn to go after Spider-Man and Green Goblin and earn the Kingpin's favor on their own. In a very clever bit of jerry-rigging, Spider-Man and Harry decide to use their old explosive collars to set a trap for Kraven. They know it's probably not enough to kill the world's greatest hunter, but they hope it'll slow him down long enough to let them escape. Though, once again, Harry just cannot help but broach the subject of murder to Peter, saying, hey, every moment we're down here, your family is in danger, and I really do mean your family too, because I didn't want to say anything before, but Gwen's totally gonna be fine. Me, her, and Dr. Octopus actually worked out a special contingency in case anything like this should happen. I was gonna work one out for you too, but you didn't like Otto, and well, the whole thing just feels kind of awkward now, doesn't it? Before the two partners can fight about this, though, Kraven ends up finding them again, this time unloading on them with a goddamn Gatling gun. Jesus, some hunter he is at this rate, there's not gonna be enough left of either man to mount on his wall. But then again, I suppose there's no kill like overkill, even in the Savage Lands. Eventually, Eventually, Kraven runs out of ammo, and the gambit with the exploding collars actually ends up paying off major dividends. Kraven is hurt, though, as he is quick to remind Spider-Man an animal is never more dangerous than when it's injured. If nothing else, though, for the first time ever, Spider-Man and Kraven are actually fighting on equal footing. Peter breaks his damn gun in two and says that despite kidnapping him, torturing him, trying to dissect him psychologically, at the end of the day, Kraven never truly understood just how far Spider-Man was willing to go if it meant saving himself and his family. It's also here he has the opportunity to kill Kraven, though ultimately chooses not to, looking to win the moral victory on top of winning the fight, though Kraven is a dirty fighter through and through as he ends up pulling out his side piece, shooting past Peter, grazing him, not affecting his spider sense, and instead going for the kill shot on Harry. Well, I should say, seemingly going for the kill shot on Harry. You see, moments later, Mysterio actually ends up showing up, and the whole thing ends up getting really weird and cryptic in a way that it really only can when Mysterio is involved. They seek to imply that maybe whoever Mysterio is under the mask, he knows Peter, or at the very least knows of him, and he says that if Peter wants to do things Harry's way and deliver brutal revenge on Kraven by killing him, that's more than fine, but if he does, he will instantly become Mysterio's problem. On the other hand, though, Peter is free to go home to try and rescue his wife and kids, and if so, Mysterio will not follow, which in the end is exactly what he does. A frantic and bleeding Peter ends up barging in on MJ and the kids, telling them just how badly things have gotten. Harry is dead. The rest of the Sinister Six know who they are and that they better start running right now if they ever hope to survive, and it's on that very frightening note the comic comes to a close. And so that was Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 14, everybody. Another ultra fun, rip-roaring, good superhero time from start to finish. One of the things I really appreciate about how Hickman tackles this universe, and especially this version of the Sinister Six, is that they don't take forever to tell these stories. You know, like we've seen a Spider-Man get hunted story 100 times before. It doesn't need to be a whole arc. 2 issues is just fine to get to the point of what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do. I gotta say, only 14 issues in, I'm surprised that we've seen Peter push so far in such a short amount of time. Now his secret is out there to the villains, and now him and his family might have to actually pay the price for his double life as a superhero. What will that mean for all of them? What will it mean for the status quo? I don't know, but you can bet I'm excited to find out. Also, maybe Harry is actually dead. Personally, I don't think he is. I think Mysterio is playing all sides against each other. I think there's definitely some illusion stuff going on that we're gonna find out later. But maybe, just maybe, next time we actually do see Harry, maybe he will actually be a villainous Green Goblin this time around. Again, I don't know, but you can bet I'm excited to find out. Overall, I would give this one another very well-deserved 9 out of 10. Ultimate Spider-Man continues winning, and I can't wait for the next issue.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again